Welcome back to Inside the Trenches podcast. It's your host, Marlon Big Fave Favorite. And you see him over there, bright as all day, man. Look like he fresh out the Drake concert. He back in the saddle with me, CL Nola, representing baby. Listen, man, it's a football Friday. We're in the Small Sliders Hub. Obviously, because we're getting a little weather down here in New Orleans right now. But it's Inside the Trenches podcast. You guys are tuning into right now, New Orleans Talk Network. This Friday, and look, listen, y'all, we're in the heat of basketball season. Yep. And football is just so happened to be the topic of discussion. I mean, I look up top stories on Google, and it's all this free agency stuff going on. So we will talk about that. But let's jump straight to it. We don't even need to tease the first hour because this is the biggest tease of the first hour. The Saints released Michael Thomas. And according to NewOrleans.com, reporter Jeff Duncan, who released it, leaked the information. Jeff says the Saints will soon be releasing Michael Thomas. It shouldn't have ended this way. He stated that. And Mike went on a rant, CL, some tweets and stuff we're going to get into. But before we dive into it, my little brother T-Bob, y'all check them out on Off the Bench, him and Jacob Hester. They'll be joining us on ESPN as well and continue to. T-Bob rolled, don't it?
Yeah, I do. I like this show.
Very, very animated. So we're going to let T-Bob's reactions roll, and then me and CL will dive in.
But it's also, not only is it like split out, it's just a true tale of two players. I mean, NFL bona fide Hall of Famer for those first 5 years into playing in missing 47 of 67 games. I mean, look, as Jeff writes, never forget. So Thomas bursts onto the scene, sets all the rookie records. He's incredible. He signs that 5-year, $96 million extension. And this is before wide receivers getting paid. This was ahead of the curve. And then I always appreciate this. Never forget, he set the NFL record the year after the contract.
Yep.
Was not a money year. He'd already gotten his money, and then he goes out for 149, 1,700 yards, and 9 touchdowns, only the second Saint to be NFL Offensive Player of the Year. And at that point, Jake, again, it felt like he was maybe the best receiver in the NFL. And who knows how long this go on? Like, this is incredible. And then it just all fell apart, man.
That was T-Bob Abel. Y'all make sure y'all check T-Bob out, T-Bob53 on Instagram, and check out him and Hester weekly on Off the Bench podcast. CL.
Oh yeah.
T-Bob touched, and listen, brother, we're going to get into the funny tweets and some of the stuff that went down with Michael Thomas in his release and his comments. He's been very candid about talking about how he feel on Twitter with anybody. It's like anybody can get it. Drew Brees, Coach Payton, Coach Allen, Derek Carr on multiple occasions. But I want to point out a couple of things that he said, CL. 5 years, $96 million in the year after the 2019 season. He rocketed off. What was the
149 receptions, 11.7 yards per catch. So that means that was a first down every time he caught the football. With 9 touchdowns the year after the contract.
Award winning. That year he won Offensive Player of the Year. That year Lamar Jackson was the MVP. I was actually down at working that Super Bowl, and what I remember is those balls were decked out on the red carpet. That was Patrick Mahomes' first Super Bowl year. So that 2019 season, Michael Thomas owned it. Yep. And how Roy Jones said, y'all must have forgot.
Clearly they forget.
We don't want to forget. Go ahead, CL.
Well, I mean, and that's it. And I want to explain to New Orleans that the word fan is short for fanatic. So fanatics, their memory is very short. It's always been a what have you done for me lately type deal. But their memory is so short to where they don't even understand the accomplishments that was given after the contract. They don't understand that this dude comes to work every day. This dude, think about the injuries. Think about everything he had to do to get back on the field. And see, that's the problem that I have with actual fans, because all they think about is Sunday. They don't think about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
The grind, the week.
They just don't, you know. And so when we come to a situation with Jeff Duncan, you know, I would love to ask Jeff, have you ever had a conversation with Mike Thomas? Because what you're putting out there, and then don't get me wrong, if he got leaked information, he got leaked information. But it's been a track record with this guy and putting out he said last year that Mike was done. Then Mike turned around and signed a 1-year, $10 million deal. So there's grounds for what Mike is doing and the reasons he's saying the things that he's saying. This dude has been wrong.
And Mike has just been alluding to, the organization leaked that information to you to try to basically bully me in this situation. He says, and I'll quote, this is from Mike Thomas's Twitter, or should I say X. Jeff Duncan funny. How they planning on releasing me if I was on a 1-year deal?
Right.
Don't fall for it. He's the same dude that tried to be my friend in the season after, so I wasn't the same player in training camp. Next topic. Then he goes on and said, Jeff Duncan is a H word, trying to stay relevant. So let's speak on it. The Saints leaked the information to him to try to ruin players' value. But see, I'm not broke, so I can't speak on it. He is broke, so he need the clicks. Go look at all of his articles. They never end up being true. So it was a stab at the journalist. And listen, he did release the information, and still, like I said, the article says that the Saints plan on releasing it.
Right. So it hasn't been done. Right.
It's not official.
Right.
The Saints have made official a lot of things, restructured a couple of players' contracts. Right. We'll talk about that later on in the show. But, just looking at trying to downplay this guy now. I'll speak intelligently on this, and Michael could put up some pictures. I know Mike from, I know Michael Thomas from the Master P basketball tournament, because I don't interview a lot of players like that. I don't hang around these guys like that or try to jump in the crowd and be their friend or anything of that nature. But he was very cool there. The next year, when we were at the Super Bowl, now he could have just been tired. The NFL put us all up in the same hotel. I'm talking with Chris Carter, and then Michael Thomas come over, and I dapped him off. I was getting ready to take a picture. He's like, nah, man, I'm going to dip. Mike's posting up the picture. That's Mike leaving. I'm not saying he was being an idiot to me, but some would say there was a change in Michael Thomas when he signed that contract. Now, not player-wise right away. We know the man plays some.
I sure was about to tell you what changed.
Yeah, the bank account, the bank struck.
And he went to being a top wide receiver in this league to the offensive player of the year.
Like T-Bob mentioned, the next year. So it did change. But I wasn't talking about his performance. I was talking mainly about his attitude. I don't know if it was who pointed it out to us, but somebody had mentioned, my mind slips me, I forget who it was or how it was, but somebody had mentioned when Jameis Winston did the thing in the Atlanta game, like said, hey, we're going to go. The players went to his back. Like they had his back. Like, man, Jameis is a good teammate. Mike's been tweeting stuff, and he has been releasing, like he's speaking his mind on Twitter.
Right.
And I don't see any of the Saints players going to bat for him like they were for Jameis.
Well, because I think that Mike has always, for himself, put himself on a heel, right? And he speaks his mind. And I don't see anything fraudulent about what Mike has said. Check the reports of what Jeff has reported, and check the incorrectness of the things that he reported. See, this is the problem with fans. They don't understand that NFL players, newsflash, are human beings. They are human beings. So some days they have good days, some days they have bad days. Some days they vent, some days they don't say anything. But what I will tell you is everybody has a point where they get frustrated. And I think that's the unfortunate situation we have now. I think Mike is frustrated with the whole situation with the reporters, because guess what? They used to say Mike didn't want to be here. They used to say he didn't work hard, he didn't want to come off an injury. And that could be the furthest thing from the truth. Because if you don't want to be here, you don't sign a deal here. If you don't want to be here, you don't go do Christmas gifts at Children's Hospital and take pictures with the unfortunate if you don't want to be here.
I think it's mainly about the locker room in the front office. I think Mike Thomas loves the city because to your point, he goes and he does Christmas drives and things of that nature, but he loves the city of New Orleans. So I don't think it's that. And let's take a look at Michael Thomas' time here as a player. Let's take a look at his stats. 2016. Now, mind you, these first
5 years, he blew it out the water.
He had Drew Brees, too, as a quarterback. So, 1,100 yards in 2017. So, that's 2016, 11, his rookie year. Then he comes back in 2017, 1,200 yards. 2018, 1,400 yards. 2019, to your point, the season after, he's already signed. You know, most players, when they get their money, they typically dip off their deal. Like CL just mentioned, he had 1,700 yards. And not to mention 9 touchdowns, right? 149 receptions. Now, in 2020, injured. 2022, well, he misses the entire season of 2021. 2022, played hurt. Following year, played hurt. So, how much of this is system and how much of it for Michael Thomas is just his situation?
Well, no regard. We've had conversation about system before. Regardless of the system, either you can catch the football or you can't. Last time I checked, Mike was catching flights to Honolulu, i.e. the Pro Bowl, because he was that guy. Now, do we realize that he was injured in the latter part of his career? Yes. The National Football League, might I remind you, is 100% injury rate. Did he not try to come back? Did he not try to get on the field? So I get it. The production slipped because of the the constant injuries. But even today, I remind you, not just this year that just passed, the year before, his first game before he got hurt of year before, he had 5 receptions, 2 touchdowns against Atlanta. And Jameis Winston was that quarterback. So never doubt the talent. Never doubt the drive. Now, what's happening on Twitter, what's happening in the media,
outside
that's
of football.
That's totally different. But at the same time, realize that this guy has the right to say and feel how he wants, because at the end of the day, these people are speaking on him and his situation.
And this is true. And here's what I'll say. I'll add on to what he's saying. We know that players work better in different systems.
Right.
Just because obviously the Saints moved on with Derek Carr. They switched systems. So it's maybe time for Mike to move on. Speaking of moving on, what are some spots you think would be good fits for Michael Thomas? I know Pro Football Network, they say the Jaguars, the Giants, the Patriots. Those are all fit Michael Thomas. Who are some guys you think, some teams you think will be a good fit for Michael Thomas?
I mean, it's uber obvious that he would be great in for the Broncos. They need a possession receiver, and like I said, just look at this year. What did Mike do in the beginning of the season? Mike was giving you 5 catches a game.
Yeah.
And now he wasn't going for over 100 yards anymore, but he was a quintessential possession receiver. So I believe every team in the National Football League could use a professional receiver, a possession receiver, and knowing that he is going to be a proven deal. So I would also say Philly, because of the situation they have going on there, and of course Detroit.
I think you look at Detroit, the familiarity. Coach Campbell knows him in Denver with Sean Payton. So we're definitely going to keep up with Michael Thomas. Thanks, Mike, for what you did for us here. And,
Thank you, Mike.
People go through stuff, so sometimes you need a change of scenery. We're not going to change the scenery for our lunch, right? We're going to make sure we make our way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard and Morrell Road. So y'all stick around Inside the Trenches podcast. When we come back, I know who's not leaving New Orleans, a guy from New Orleans. We're going to talk about the Saints. We're going to continue to talk about the Saints the next segment, and a little bit of NFL free agency buzz and so on and so forth. You're watching Inside the Trenches podcast on New Orleans Talk Network. Daniel Sons, kicking it with Miyagi. Kensei, Sensei, hit him with a variety. Raised in them trenches, still a high commodity. Cause playing on the D-line was more like karate. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders. 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now. Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello.
Step Construction is here for you with a brand new offer. We now provide affordable storage sheds. Stop wasting your money on overpriced storage units and portable containers. Step Construction can provide you with a custom shed that will fit your budget and storage needs. So contact Step Construction today at 504-340-5809 for your own personal quote. Let us help you take the next step at Step Construction.
It's Inside the Trenches podcast, baby. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite. I'm here with CL Nola. We're enjoying this Friday. We inside. We usually at Small Sliders recording live, enjoying the outdoor breeze, but we at the New Orleans Talk Network studio in the Small Sliders hub, baby.
Oh, yeah.
The latest on the Saints, the draft, free agency, guys resigning. One guy that they resigned is a New Orleans native from St. Augusta High School. Sam Ward Hardhead. LSU guy, none other than Tyrann Mathieu. Probably one of the more interesting stories in the NFL in regards to safeties. Tyrann, I figured he was going to be one of those guys, CL, to be the next to restructure their contract just because he liked to do it for the home team.
Well, it's important to do it for the home team when you have financially met your obligations on 2 to 3 other contracts, right? Mm-hmm. And I think we've alluded to that in previous segments where once your financial situation is set, you're making decisions for other reasons now. Did Tyrann want to leave? I doubt that very seriously. Mm-hmm. So he stayed. Did other people might have a contract that could draw him away from New Orleans? I'm quite possibly sure, because if you looked and seen all the safeties that got released, mm-hmm. I'm sure there's a couple teams looking for a veteran safety now at a bargain price, which the Saints have got him. So I'm proud of the Saints. I'm proud, of course, that Mickey we trust again to get that cap down to get them dudes in the building. This is nothing new, New Orleans. Welcome back home, Tyrann. I'm glad you never left, brother.
Tyrann is back, and just so you guys know the terms and how this goes, it is a 2-year extension. According to ESPN beat writer Catherine Terrell, the terms were disclosed, but sources say Matthew agreed to a lower salary in this season, the 2024 season, in exchange for more years to his 3-year, $33 million contract deal, which he signed as an undrafted free agent. I mean, as a free agent. Because he was definitely drafted.
Yes, sir.
In 2022. The new deal is worth a total of $13 million, according to league sources.
About 5.5 mil a year. About 5.5.
And that's not bad. I mean, you got a guy that's in his early 30s, early to mid 30s, still playing at a high level. I say the same thing about DeMario Davis. But, you kind of think about Tyron and what he has done in his time here with the Saints and how not only has he brought veteran leadership to the secondary, he's making plays.
Yeah.
In a time where the Saints needed consistent play on defense, he's a guy that does it.
He showed up. In the first year he came, it was a little rough, but I understand that he didn't have a training camp. He didn't have off-season, but obviously him having a full training camp this year, him being there, I think he did a wonderful job. He reached the plateau of his yearly stats, so you can't argue with that. And he was probably the best thing that a young Jordan Howard would need as far as a safety next to him, a veteran presence in the locker room, as well as a guy that's been there and done it, and teach him how to be a professional.
Jordan Howden at Minnesota, he was an exceptional safety.
Yep.
And I think the way that, and this is what Coach Allen does well, he puts together his defense in a way where, all right, I have a veteran in this area.
Right, packages.
He started in those veteran-type packages, and I think just looking at this deal, if Marcus May would have had like 6 interceptions this year and made a big flash,
right,
you probably would go a little slower with Howden. But signing Tyron back, Tyron was productive. He averages 3 interceptions a year. This year, he just so happened to hit his average.
Yep.
With Jordan Howden back there, you still have a solid secondary, CL.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And just to show you the value of a Howden, when Mays was hurt, Howden started for him. When Tyron was hurt, Jordan started for him. So not only is he interchangeable, he can play both safety positions. He's already, and this was his rookie year. Imagine having a rookie safety that is stepping in for veteran safeties on a back end, your last line of defense. Clearly, this young man is a star waiting to rise.
He is, and Catherine Terrell, ESPN beat writer, also wrote again about basically how the Saints' wounds are shaping up mid-season. And one piece that really stood out, we spoke about on several shows, was bringing in an entire new offensive staff. The article reads, the Saints overhauled their offensive staff and replaced long-term coordinator Pete Carmichael. Pete Carmichael. I was about to say Kirk Michael. But Clint Kubiak from the San Francisco 49ers, former passing game coordinator, comes through. It also talked about the release of Marcus May and bringing on Tyron. Here's why I think this article is interesting. You look at a defensive-minded coach being able to make moves, restructure some contracts, but look at areas where you have guys that add a lot of value. Right. I know you and I talked about Cam Jordan. You wasn't excited about last year, me either, but I still think you need a guy like him on the edge. You look at the linebacking core, Pete Werner now a four-year guy in the league now, but you do have DeMario, Pro Bowl DeMario, 2023 Pro Bowler. So in recent times, this guy's a Pro Bowler. So now you start looking at, all right, what other areas on the team that we need veteran leadership in? Because the Saints are getting some solid pieces through the draft.
I think we're good at veteran leadership, honestly.
On both sides of the ball?
Specifically defensive-wise.
Okay.
Because defensively, we're getting a little long in the tooth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we have enough veteran presence on each level. You got Cam on the D-line. You got Davis on the next level. You got Tyron on the back end. So I think we have enough veteran presence on the defense. I think it's time for a youth movement defensively, which we
I agree.
Yeah, because we
I
have
agree.
to get faster. Remember, people, I'm always trying to get better. I'm never satisfied with what we're a top 10 defense. But imagine if we would have had pressure on the quarterback this year from the front four like we were accustomed to. We might have been a top 5 defense. You understand what I'm saying? So there is a need for youth on the defensive side of the ball, i.e. what's different for the offensive side of the ball, because now we might quite possibly need veteran presence on the offensive side of the ball.
And you just look at some of the top free agents and some of the guys you want to target in the draft. And now that this Saints team is shaping up, it comes to find out that Ryan Ramczyk, and you actually mentioned this before you made it public, but before other people put it out there public. Ryan Ramczyk,
he's saying I dropped it first. That's what he's saying.
You basically dropped it first. And look, man, at the very end of the day, it's good that he's healthy, right?
Yes. It's super important.
So, CL, it looks like we have investigated CL here, man. He gets some inside information, brother, that's not easy to get. Hello.
Well, I just don't look good on TV. I actually work, just like I was telling them earlier. You don't understand what I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right.
Yeah, to get here on TV and to give you all this information.
Definitely. So, is it safe to say now that Ramczyk is healthy, so I can imagine them bumping Trevor Penning. People forget about Trey Turner still being on the roster. He just hurt last year.
I'm familiar with the gentleman being on the roster. I think just in previous podcasts, I alluded to that we still might have the right guys in the building already.
Correct.
That's why I'm going to certain positions, and I'm begging for the best defensive pass rusher.
And I'm looking
14.
on the offensive side of the ball, too. So we're looking at the best defensive rusher. And if one of those guys, let's say, for instance, in the draft, if Jared Verse is still there, man, go after it. I mean,
if
you don't
Jared
want to.
Verse is still there, I'm going to go turn the card in. I'm going to walk up there and turn the card in if Jared Verse is still
there. There you go.
But he won't. He will not be there at 14. I guarantee you that, New Orleans.
But in terms of, and there's other guys too in that position, and
maybe
I know
a
when
poke
we go,
chop.
a poke chop might be there.
I can't say his name either.
Latu.
UCLA defensive lineman.
I think that's it. I think it's Latu. Islander. Latu. So Latu for sure.
God bless you.
I got you. But another area of concern, CL, is veteran wide receiver. Based off our last segment, it looks like Michael Thomas is not going to be. All roads are pointing. It's not officially dropped, and maybe when you guys check this show out, maybe on a weekend edition of this podcast, which is this episode, you can listen to it throughout the weekend. But they're going to have to look at a veteran leader in that position. So some guys, Calvin Ridley, I know Marquise Brown signed with the Tennessee Titans.
Right.
I think Gabe Davis is a guy that will be a decent fit. He has good hands. He has size. He could be that possession receiver.
Number 13 in Buffalo for the fans.
Number 13 in Buffalo for the folks. And y'all could pull up. I know there's a lot of fantasy football folks out there. You could check him out. So I think as we look at this team, CL, wide receiver, defensive end, you maybe still want to go offensive line and maybe safety.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful situation with that Gabe. That 13 from Buffalo. Mm-hmm. If we could actually get him in the fold, that obviously, and whenever I'm speaking of bringing a player in, no matter if he's a veteran, no matter if he's an undrafted free agent, I'm always speaking at our price point. I'm your assistant GM to the New Orleans Saints. I'm always speaking price point.
Saints, y'all better hire my man. He out here representing for you.
I have too much fun on the sideline. I don't want the obligations on Sunday.
Right,
I don't want the obligations on Sunday. But at the price point that we need, Gabe would be a perfect situation because we're letting go possibly the greatest possession receiver that the Saints have ever seen in the history of New Orleans.
True.
And maybe we can bring in Gabe to be that possession receiver moving forward.
Well, we're going to keep this party going. We're going to look at some of the top players buzzing in the draft. Guys, the young guy CL talking about that's coming on to this deal. And, hey, y'all, if you're hungry right now, I know our food just got here. Small slider, 1635 Bear Terrier Boulevard. Slide through, baby. Get you something to eat. Let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. We'll be back. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Piccolo at Godwin Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Piccolo and the folks over at Godwin Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwinrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwin Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stump Boulevard, Gretna, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now.
Listen, come on. And don't you forget it. Don't you forget my love.
Welcome back, baby. It's Friday, a football Friday here at Inside the Trenches podcast. I'm your host, Marlon Big Favorite. Joining me is my co-host, CL Nola. And we're excited about this draft for the Saints. Want to see what position they want to go in. But we also are excited for these young men.
Right.
These young men work extremely hard to get to this point, to have this opportunity to be in the NFL. And I want to look at the top NFLDraftBuzz.com, basically put out their top prospects overall. That's every position, that's every school. Basically, they're looking at their top guys. When you look at this list, I like that you got LSU Tigers in it.
You better.
You better, but you see a lot of versatility in a lot of these guys. So we're going to try to grade the top 5 guys and look at them. The number 1 prospect on this list is Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, CL, if I'm looking at Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm saying that he is a bit bigger than Malik Nabers, but I think Malik Nabers in the short ball and the deep ball threat, not the medium ball so much. I think Marvin Harrison has the speed and the size to, lower that shoulder and maybe get a little yak on the linebackers. When you look at a player like Marvin Harrison Jr., tell me about your thoughts on where he not necessarily lands, but his overall status.
Well, overall, he looked like he a complete pro at the college level. He has the size, he has the speed. Obviously, he's a legacy. Seems like he's the full package, which I'm not surprised him being the number one. And just so you guys understand, he is the number one overall player in this year's draft.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not the top wide receiver, the top player.
And we're not saying that he's going to get. They're not saying the number one pick either.
No.
Because now you're getting into teams and needs and all of that. They're just rating.
There's rankings that make guys the overall best player in the draft.
100%.
Never have anything to do with being the number one overall pick, because obviously there's needs. Don't get me wrong, the Chicago Bears do need him, but I don't think that they'll actually do it.
And I think our folks tuning in right now need something to eat. And I know we have audio and visual, but yes, this is the beautiful small sliders, drinks, and the food in front of us. We're not going to tease y'all too much and tease y'all with our sliders, but make sure you slide your way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard. Get you a bite to eat. And tune into our podcast next Friday as well. We'll be live there recording if y'all want to come check us out, but it's for our evening show. You take a look at, okay, you have the next they mentioned Caleb Williams. We've heard enough of him, the projected number one. That would be the biggest shakeup if he doesn't go. But at number 3, the number 3rd overall guy, and this is where this podcast is relevant, baby. It's an offensive lineman in Joe O. And CL's doing that because he's hoping he falls to 14, and the Saints just have to get that generational talent in the guy. People don't really give offensive linemen the props that they need.
Right.
But this young man, he's 6'9". We'll start there. Now I had a 10. If y'all can see my hands here, his hands are about this big, 10-inch hands. He has look at this though, CL, 321, but ran a 5 flat as an offensive lineman. That's moving. Another impressive set of numbers. The shuttle, 4.5 in the shuttle. His 10. When they're timing the linemen, when you're looking at the offense and defensive linemen, they're not looking at the full 40-yard dash. That's what Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, who ran a 4.33. Skill guys, right? Mm-hmm. His was a 1.7. So as an offensive lineman, that is really good. So, you take a look at that, CL. Now, here's something else you'll like as we continue to go down this list. And if you guys are just tuning in, we're on NFLDraftBuzz.com checking out some of the top guys that they have. Malik Neighbors is 4 on this list.
Yep.
Malik Neighbors, working for LSU Sports Radio, watching this kid each week, you're going to expect a big play out of him every time. He went to the bowl game just to make sure he broke that record, Josh Reed record at LSU. Right. CL, in your opinion, out of the receivers that's in this deal, and you have, I always do this to his name too, Rome Adomes, and those are the 3 out of the 10 top players. These are the 3 top guys. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like Malik Neighbors out of those 3 receivers have the edge?
Well, this is the deal. This is the South, and we love the South. So, fortunately, unfortunately, we're able to see the product from the South a lot more than we would see in an Ohio State game, a lot more than we would clearly see a Washington game. And the eyes have told us that this dude is all world. It's not and just so you guys don't think that we're biased, he was a Biletnikoff finalist, which is the number 1 wide receiver in the nation. Mm-hmm. So clearly there's some validity. Clearly there's some validity in what I'm saying, because obviously the nation has decided that this dude is one of the top, if not top, wide receivers in the league. And the second guy in the top for the Biletnikoff winner was his teammate, Mr. Thomas Jr. So knowing that the talent was down here in the South, I would have to believe that they got Malik a little low on this one, especially at number 6. I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay.
Well, he had 4 6.
No. I know who they got at number 6. I'm about to lose my mind.
And listen, just because he's at 6, that doesn't mean he's coming off the board at 6.
No.
He may potentially, possibly, and I do think we have some more draft talk to talk in this show. Now, we'll get to it on Monday. We'll be at UPT Sports Social. Uptown, baby. But Brock Bowers is at 6. Now, before him, they have Drake May. I don't want to spend a lot of time on Drake May because I do believe he's one of the players that's overrated in this draft.
Yeah, you know Drake not supposed to be up there every year. Every year they put somebody up there that's not even supposed to be in the first round conversation. And that's why people teach your child to play quarterback. Because every year there's some team, some NFL franchise, maybe 2, maybe 3, that will reach and put a guy in the first round of the National Football League draft, and he won't make the team.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Because we're looking at Zach Wilson.
They can't get rid of that boy for a shrimp sandwich. They can't get a shrimp sandwich for that boy.
All right, so I'm gonna skip. I'm not gonna leave the top 10 because the next guy I mentioned is on the top 10, and that's Jaden Daniels. They have him at 90, and he's the 3rd-ranked quarterback on the deal. Caleb Williams, Drake May before Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner. Now I know that they're going in with other intangible size and all this extra stuff. Michael Penix Jr. at 4, Bo Nix at 5, J.J. McCarthy. Now, everybody has a different deal. I'm pretty sure Pro Football Focus is a little different. Spencer Radley, which I think he's really good. Michael Pratt at 8. I can appreciate that too, Lane. Jordan Travis at 9. We know he went lower down that list because of the injury. And then Joe Mixon III. To me, he has probably one of the more talented arms in this draft.
Sleeper.
So for Joel isn't here right now. He wants the Saints to draft a quarterback, but you got 10 top prospects. So it's tons of options. We know that the Saints interviewed 6 of the quarterbacks at the combine, so there is a little hope there for that position.
You have to put in that leg work. You got to put in, no matter what. Because in this draft, you never know what's going to happen. I'm telling you now, I don't mean to break the news, but I'm telling you now, I would not be surprised if the Chicago Bears go with Jaden Daniels at number 1. And
I wouldn't be surprised either.
And not
brother.
Caleb Williams.
I know it'll be the shocker of the draft, but I wouldn't be surprised. And we got
it shouldn't even be a shocker. Because if you're looking at the tape, the things that Caleb Williams was doing in college at UCLA, he will not be able to do that at the next level. When a D lineman running a 4.5.
Right.
He's not gonna be able to run around like that. Now Jalen Daniels. And I don't want to speak too much on him, but clearly he's more of a, he's
more elusive,
a more elusive Lamar Jackson prototype type quarterback.
Yeah,
that will be able to use his feet. And I'm not saying that Caleb won't be able to use his feet. I'm just saying his feet won't matter as much in this league moving forward.
I believe that's true. Another thing I want to look at, CL. I'll mention a couple more of these guys real quick. You have, I said Jaden Daniels. You have, and boy, they have some names in this draft. So they did already abbreviate his. Olu Fasenhanyu. And then I talked about Rome Dunzy. I think it is just Dunzy. Dunzy. Dunzy is his name. And then Layla Latu. Those guys.
God bless you.
Those guys alone. All right. Out of the names we mentioned, we'll focus on 2 guys. Which 2 guys, in your opinion, will be instant starters? I can't even say 2 because there's a few of them. So just off the top of your head, out of the guys we mentioned, who you think will be instant starters in this league?
The young man from UCLA, the defensive lineman, the defensive end.
Starter. Okay.
Latu, if that's his name.
Right. I think Jaden comes in and start. I think Malik comes in and start. Joe Alt is the for sure and start right away guy. I know we talked about Marvin Harrison Jr. and those guys are going to start. Yeah. So most of them, out of the ones that we mentioned, who you think might need a little bit more development and may not start right away? I have a name. I just want to
Drake May.
Drake May, the unanimous guy.
Can you please stand? Come to the congregation.
Mitchell Trubisky, .20.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
It's written all over his face. He don't have to say a word.
Just smile, just
Just
smile, just
smile,
smile,
man.
smile for me.
And don't get me wrong, we're not dissing this young man
At all.
but we've seen this movie before. We have seen people reach because of the need for the call. And I'll give you another one. Michigan. McCleskey.
That's another JJ
Oh,
McCarthy.
my God,
he's another reach. Someone who's a
what
good
he ran?
game
He handed
manager.
it off to a 2,000-yard running back.
Come on now.
How many times he threw the ball this year?
Now that's a position in this draft. They have some sleepers at the running back.
Oh,
You're
for
talking
sure.
about Blake Corum. Yeah, they have some guys.
Bench
Well,
press 32 reps.
I saw they had them all right alongside the linemen. Well, look, I'm going to go ahead and bench press one of these small sliders burgers while we take a quick break. You're watching Inside the Trenches podcast. Don't go anywhere, baby. We got one more segment in hour one. Frank, what's up, man?
Getting it up and down them switches, 4 down in inches, man. You gotta get this licking.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Fave Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stump Boulevard, Gretna, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Big Fave Favorite. Watch out there now. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right, when you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Fave Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello.
He has the heart of a champion.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
Welcome back, Inside the Trenches podcast. Man, this first hour just flew by, baby, because it flies by when you're having a good time. This segment is brought to you by Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway Boulevard in Metairie, Louisiana. Holler at my boy Alberto over there. I know you just got them taxes. They have some really good used cars. Look, I did the little drop top buzz yesterday. He said he just sold his last drop top yesterday, but he gonna get some more next week. Y'all make sure y'all holler at Alberto at Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway. Metairie. Now, there's another group of folks that play in Metairie, at the Shrine on Airline. Nola Gold.
Oh, yeah.
The Gold, baby. I used to work, see, you know I used to work for the Gold.
Yeah, I saw you with the medium shirt on.
You saw the little medium shirt I had on? That's it. Hey, I'm going to talk to Mr. Timonal, man. Next time they hook me up with a gold shirt, man, make it a little looser.
Tell him you need gorilla size.
Big dog. Big as a gorilla size. Well, the Nola Gold jumped off to a good start. They opened up. They had the inaugural game of the season, not the inaugural game, the season game kickoff against Old Glory DC. They beat them 18-6. That's big when you start looking at rugby because those matches usually go. So them boys been down here training in the South. See, it's hot down here when they training, huh?
Always, which kind of makes me wonder why we move in training camp, which I know why we move in training camp, but I think it's an acute advantage to practice in New Orleans, practice in the humidity, practice in the swamp, condition-wise. I think it bodes well for us. But shouts out to the Gold because they blew them boys out last night.
The big dogs out there, man. I just want to give the guys their props on the roster. Jared Adams, Pat O'Toole, you have Isaac Salmon, Malcolm May, just to name a couple of those guys on the team. A lot of new faces on the team this year. There's a couple of reserve players as well. It's fun, y'all. When I played rugby, well, I never played it officially, but when I was working for the Gold, Ryan Fitzgerald, the general manager, said, "Big Fav, you need to come on out there to practice, man.
Right.
Come get." So I was like, you know what? I'm definitely going because I'm always trying to lose a little weight on the big side. So, I might have lost like 10 pounds that day. I ain't lying to you because what happens in rugby, it never stops. Like, with football, it's really 7 seconds. Right. The whole play, then you get another 30-second break.
Right.
You get another TV timeout.
Yep.
You catch your breath. But these guys are constantly moving. They're on the roll. Owner Tim Falcon played rugby at LSU.
Okay.
He's the one. He was one of the folks who not forfeited. Was the forefront to getting the league rolling back. So he's in love with his rugby team.
I'm a fan of rugby football because if you really pay attention to it, it's the ultimate ugly ball, right?
That's right. That's right.
It's the ultimate ugly ball. So it's about the line of scrimmage. It's about your best big men against my best big men. Pitch the ball back. We're gonna gain the yardage. It's the ultimate ugly ball sport. So when you guys go out, man, make sure y'all holler at me because I definitely want to be a part of it.
And I know Major League Rugby is new to a lot of people, so I want to give a little background on it about the teams that they have. So it was founded in 2017. Their first season was 2018. They have 13 teams, right?
Yep.
The headquarters in Dallas. You have the most recent team added was the New England Free Jacks. Most titles are by the Seattle Seawolves. You like that name? Not the Seattle Seahawks, the Seawolves.
A little ploy. Not bad.
Not bad. Rugby is an international sport. As a matter of fact, soccer and rugby are actually bigger than football, American football across the world. The rules are different. Okay, so here's one of the interesting facts I learned. I felt like I was going to the school of rugby when I first started work because you got to know the product. You got to be able to sell a product and tell people about it. But you know how in the NFL they score a touchdown?
Yep.
Like you catch the ball in the end zone, they say touchdown. Well, really, it's a touchdown. So in order to score in rugby, you got to touch the ball down on the field. So the NFL actually adopted that from the rugby deal. So I know a lot of y'all didn't really know that history. When you start looking into the teams, there's a team in New England, DC, Carolina, Miami. That has to be a lot of fun.
Sure.
Chicago. CL, I think you got to take a little trip to Chicago soon, huh?
Oh.
We'll leave that one off here. Hello, somebody. Right? Got some friends out there in Chicago. Some business partners I see. New Orleans, Dallas. There's a Houston team. There's also, coming in 2025, you're going to have the Nuevo Leon team 2025 in Mexico. So it's going to, and we've seen this in basketball. Toronto is technically in Canada,
Right.
but they're playing in American
America.
basketball. So
Right.
I think that's a cool deal. Then you get to the West Coast, there's a Utah team, San Diego team, LA, and then there's a Seattle team. So TL, I make sure I get you some tickets to when the Gold play out in Chicago.
Oh, for sure.
I got the hookup.
A
Holla
little
if you hear
inside
me.
joke inside the churches.
That's all.
Yeah, don't run with it, people.
There's nothing to run with at all.
My phone ringing up.
Yeah, he got 2 phones. You know what I'm saying? So let's look at this goal schedule for our folks local. I know a big part of our listening audience is right here from the New Orleans metropolitan area. And if you want to check out the goal game, let me tell you something. I brought my family a couple of times. The kids really enjoyed it because it's engaging.
Yeah.
The players stick around after. You can take pictures and autographs. Similar to arena. I like that part of it. We did that in arena ball.
Right.
We hung around and meet the fans. But the goal plays this Saturday at 3 p.m. at the Shrine on
At the
LI.
Shrine.
The Shrine, baby. They take on Anthem RC. And then they travel to, is this Quincy Stadium? Okay, so then they go out to New England to play the Free Jacks. Then they go out to Arlington to play the Dallas Jacquelines. I like the little logo, too.
I
that
don't
Dallas,
like it.
You don't like the
See,
Dallas logo?
You should see me shaking my head the minute you said them first words. I don't like it.
The gold do look like they have the best
They
uniform.
do. And what's crazy is about that Dallas logo, if you look at it, it's almost like all 3 of them are the same. Because if you look at the Mavericks, if you look at them other people I ain't going to mention, they all kind of have that same, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
The color scheme as well, too.
Right. I really hate those guys.
I really hate those guys. Miami Sharks.
Hey,
They take on Miami
now they
June
wrong
16th.
for that. No, they got Willie Beeman on their team.
Willie Beeman.
Got the Shark on the team. Crozier, you're an offensive coordinator.
May 26th, as week 13 is going to be on the Rugby Network. They travel to Chicago.
Okay.
On the 26th, so that game's coming up. But in the recent months, coming up, you guys, they travel on the road. Let's focus on the home games. So they have this game on March 9th, and then you won't see them again till April 6th.
Well, I tell the people to go and check it out for themselves because Fave's is telling the truth. Children really actually like rugby because it's ultimately a kid's sport, if you will. All sports are kids' sports, to be honest with you. But rugby, if you got rough kids that want to play in the dirt, that want to, get their clothes dirty, and, this is the ultimate sport for that. Obviously these new kids today, they don't like to come outside, let alone play on grass. But this is, if you actually have kids that love to be outside, I think this is a great opportunity. And the Shrine is still probably our 3rd best sports arena in New Orleans. Well, in the New Orleans area.
We talk a lot of football on this on this podcast. And look at this, CL. What football team does this look like right here? Hold on, let me go back. Who that look like right there?
That look like our color rush. That look like our color rush.
Man, that look like the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, the scrum.
When they do the tush push.
The tush push is derived from the rugby scrum.
That's right.
And obviously, if you know anything about offensive linemen, wrestling, rugby, the low man always wins. It's always about being low. Obviously, Fave is our talented defensive lineman. He'll tell you, the low man always wins.
All the time. And that's what I do appreciate about Rugby for Youth. New Orleans, I know they're adopting it. I know Shaw has it. A couple of other schools have rugby teams. And what the NOLA Gold does in the offseason, they do rugby camps for the kids to put together rugby. It's almost like setting up like a flag football team for the kids. So that's definitely cool. But again, y'all go get y'all tickets. Y'all can go to nolagoldrugby.com. Hit tickets. The tickets are extremely cheap. You can even get the suites for cheap. They're at the Shrine on LI, so concession stand popping. You can go ahead, hungry, headed to the game, get you a little snack.
And if you're out, it's in Metairie, so maybe you can visit the other small sliders in Metairie as well, right?
Well, I know we want them at the Marrero one for sure, but it's all about Smalls too. So that's the one Drew Brees is associated with in Metairie. So it's not that far from it. As a matter of fact, it is right down the street from it. So definitely Smalls is all over the place, baby. Shouts out to Smalls. Definitely. And then as far as the game, you want to get out there early.
I like the uniforms.
Find some good parking. Hey, the uniforms. I think the New Orleans team have the dopest uniforms.
Yeah, I know somebody look good in white and gold.
So you're trying to tell the goal that they got to go ahead and get you.
Go ahead and lace me, baby.
Lace them up. I'm telling you, because the Pels got him. You know he the GM for the Saints, so they got him rolling.
Y'all might as well let me market the uniform.
You heard him, Mr. Tim. You heard him here on Inside the Trenches. CL, he all through the city. He is the city. It's 504. That way CL Nola, baby.
It's a must-have.
It's a must-have. And while y'all in Metairie at the goal, Toronto Airline watching the goal play, and you caught the bus there, you can go right over there off North Causeway. Tell the Uber the bus to drop you off by my man Alberto at Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway Boulevard. He'll get you ride and fly. That's hour one. Hour two, we're going to have a special guest come join us, man. Big Boy Records' very own Insane. Big Frank, Lil Frank, they got some shows coming up. He's going to come talk a little NOLA music with us in our next hour. And then we got to jump back into the NFL. I mean, it's just crazy, baby. You're watching Inside the Trenches podcast on New Orleans Talk Network. We'll be back, baby. Don't go nowhere.
Watch out.
He has the heart of a champion.
Better boss up. All the 17, tell them youngest how to boss up.
Well, hello. It's Marlon Big Fave Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You can do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello. Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Fave Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stump Boulevard, Gretna, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Big Fave Favorite. Watch out there now.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com.
Welcome back. Inside the Trenches podcast, baby. Hour 2. And we promise y'all to keep hour 2 just as interesting as hour 1. If you missed hour 1, don't trip. You can check us out on the YouTube link, or you could go to the Podbean to check us out also as well. So I told y'all this before. The segments. No, this was in hour 1. I typed in top stories, just see what the top stories are, and the football stories sit to the top of all of the stories. The biggest one being probably one of the biggest deals we've seen in dead money ever with Russell Wilson. But another former quarterback balled out in this league, was a first-round draft pick, and my man RG3. Him and Stephen A. was talking about this Russell deal on ESPN earlier this week. Let's talk about what former first-round quarterback RG3 has to say about Russell.
All the other things that you gave him to not fully go all in on him. Hackett was hired, like you said, to bring Aaron Rodgers there, but he didn't. So what did they do for Russ? They paired him with a first-time head coach, a first-time GM, a first-time play caller, and a young roster. They wanted Russell Wilson to go out there and do what Matthew Stafford had done and win a Super Bowl in year 1, and do what Tom Brady had done with the Bucs and win a Super Bowl in year 1. But they didn't give him that Super Bowl supporting cast.
Bronco lease.
So, CL, I think that if you look at the grand scheme of this deal with Russell, RG3 right. They didn't give him everything he needed. What did Pete Carroll do? Pete Carroll put weapons around him. He put a defense around him, a nice offensive line. Remember, we were trying to get, what's our guy that? No, we got him. We had got Max Unger down here, and then he retired, which luckily we were able to get. Yeah, they really did. I think that was the first
the chipping on armor.
Yeah, it
on
really
that
was.
offensive line.
It really was. That's an excellent point. But to RG3's point, do you agree with him in regards to Russell being set up for failure anyway in Denver?
Yes and no. The reason why I say yes is because it happened like RG3 said it. They brought in Hackett. He wasn't ready for prime time. You know, they did have a young roster. The thing is, what people fail to realize is that there's new ownership in Denver. It's the Walmart group. The people that own Walmart is now the new owners of the Denver Broncos. So what that means is they brought in Coach Payton as the head coach. Coach Payton didn't have anything to do with Russell. Not with his contract, not with bringing him in, because he wasn't a part of the organization at the time. So what happened was that when the Walmart group came in, the one thing we know about Walmart group, they money long. So Coach has a unique situation to where he has the stability and the time to fix it and get it right, and not use a quarterback per se like a Russell Wilson, which would be considered a stopgap guy right now. So that's why I say yes and no to this RG3 comment.
Well, let's take a look at how this Russell Wilson's contract, dead money deal look compared to others. So, number one on this list, this was before, the Russell deal came. Number one on this list was Matt Ryan, $40.53 million hit that Atlanta had to take. Next, 2023, the very next year, Aaron Rodgers, $40.3 million. Tom Brady in that same season, $35.10 million. I remember this one right here coming up, boy. This is one of the biggest fake news of them all, right?
That boy got
Carson Wentz, $33.8
Is he on somebody's roster right now?
I don't think so.
Jeez.
I really don't. I would have to fact check that one. Jeez. My man Russell, he's somewhere spending that money. You're right. Yeah. You got Russell's on here twice, right? He's going to be number one after this one. But Seattle took a $26 million with Russell in the first place. And then now, this blockbuster CL, $85 million that's due to Russell Wilson by Denver.
And that's what I want the public to understand. We're not getting on Russell. Obviously, I have my personal feelings about Russell and his athletic prowess and his off-the-field things. But let's just put it in perspective. Do you realize Seattle Seahawks went to the Super Bowl with Russell Wilson 2 times? They won one, lost one. But do you realize they were a perennial Pro Bowl a perennial playoff contending football team? You realize his last season, they just wanted nothing to do with him.
Yeah,
to the point
crazy.
where they took a cap hit of $26 million and traded him to the Broncos. Now, they're already saying this is possibly the worst trade in the NFL. I never thought we would get worse than the Herschel Walker deal. But look like we didn't surpass the Herschel Walker. Herschel could rest in peace now because we didn't surpass on the worst NFL contract deal, trade. So what's happening is Russell gets to Denver, and he doesn't have anything of what he had in Seattle that helped make him good.
Yeah.
What did Russell have in Seattle? He had a strong running game. What did he have on the other side of the ball? He had the Legion of Boom. He had a great defense. So it was minimal of the things that Russell needed to do. It was minimal carriage, if you will, minimal stuff that he had to hold on his back compared to going to Denver where the running game is not good. The defensive backs, they're pretty good, but there's no pressure from the front seven. So he almost has the total opposite team, but they expected him to be just as good. So I think it's kind of a conundrum because he's only as good. Like, imagine this, an NFL team needing everybody to be good and not just one player, i.e. New Orleans Saints.
You're watching Inside the Trenches podcast. CL Nola, Big Fave. We're talking about Russell Wilson and his contract, this dead money, should I say, that Denver's responsible for. And then we're also taking a look across the NFL at some other deals that were just like this.
Right.
So you just talked about all that big money that the Walmart family have. It's 3 options that they have to pay Russell. Now, the first one is obvious. The number one option is take an $85 million hit at once. Just go ahead and just get punched in the face. You probably make about $85 million a week anyway in Walmart revenues. Just go ahead and give them that money. Just be rid of it.
Choppatulas, I know for sure.
Option number 2. That thing be packed, boy. You ain't never lying. That Choppatulas, Walmart. Always. Man, why they got traffic all Choppatulas, boy? Walmart got some sales. That's what's going on. Option number 2. You can decline the $22 million bonus that's due on March 17th. So this is something that'll have to happen in next week or so.
Right.
And in 2024, you'll owe him $53 million at some point. And in 2025, $32 million. So 2 years, you're done with it. Option number 3, designate June 1st release. So he basically just sits, you just designated that June 1st release, and then you could split it $35.4 million in 2024, and then take care of the back half in 2025. I think that option number 3 is probably the best because you still pay the bill, but you won't owe him that money this year. Amount at least.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and I'm a fan of Patrick Surtain Jr. Obviously, I have a personal relationship with Coach. The Denver Broncos, no matter what they do, they're gonna be the last team in their division anyway. Regardless of what they do, no matter if they take the cap hit now, take it later, they're not gonna be a playoff team this year.
Man, I don't know. I'm
who
not
the quarterback.
Okay, boy, we just named a whole bunch of quarterbacks in the draft, and then we're about to take a look.
About it. If former Pro Bowler, veteran, two-time Super Bowl going to quarterback couldn't do nothing with them, do you think a rookie quarterback coming in could turn the franchise around? There is no Stroud in this year's draft.
No, I'm not saying a rookie quarterback is going to come in and do that. I'm saying you could go get a veteran like Kirk Cousins, do a 1-year deal with them, draft your rookie quarterback, let him develop behind Kirk Cousins. Now, could Kirk Cousins take it to the promised land? Patrick probably can. Vance Joseph probably can with that defense. Sean Payton gonna probably go get Michael Thomas.
I would almost agree with you if he wasn't in that division.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You got to realize Harbaugh is now in the division.
That's true.
Harbaugh
that's true.
has Abel. Do you realize that, of course, Kansas City, the champions, you can't never discredit them. But then the Raiders. The Raiders, I guarantee you, the Raiders will be better this year.
That's a well, and they have pass rushers.
Yeah,
you got Max Crosby.
Oh, my God. Monster.
They have some, it's a tough division.
That dude is unblockable.
I just know Sean Payton, when he gets into Sean Payton mode, could take a team to the playoffs. He couldn't do it with Russell. So this could be a situation, to your point, where maybe they can be some contenders in their division in another year or two.
The only thing they're going to be in their division, and like I say, I like the Broncos because of my personal relationship. I graduated from Old Parawalk. I love that orange and blue. The only thing they could be this year, baby, is spoilers. I'm going to be real with you. I mean,
I might have some fantasy players on the team.
Who they going to have at quarterback?
I'm saying of best available right now is that's not going to work. Kirk Cousins could, with a decent receiving core, Kirk Cousins could do something for you. But if I'm Denver, there's several C.J. Strouds in this draft. You might have some support to your comment for our next segment because we're going NFL memes.
Kirk Cousins' best fit is in Minnesota. Kirk Cousins' best fit is in Minnesota.
I've heard
because
that.
if you bring Kirk to Denver, how many times Russell got sacked this year?
So
Russell, if you realize,
it?
Russell is built more to get sacked than Kurt is. I'm gonna just be real with you. He's a little more durable.
I'm interested in seeing what Denver's going to do for the rest of this week's in free agency leading to the draft, because both Denver needs a quarterback, Minnesota needs a quarterback.
And Kirk coming off of ACL.
That's true too.
I mean, you're coming off of ACL. Your O-line ain't 100, ain't 3,000. That's just not a recipe for in this division.
Sean may potentially build through free agency. He has a good coaching staff. He's probably a Kirk Cousins away from being competitive in their division. Before we leave here, I want to look at some of the top free agents available, just so our viewers know what the Saints got to pull from, who's rolling. We mentioned Kirk Cousins. You have Chris Jones. You have Christian Watkins. That's somebody I would pick. If I bring it in,
I can't.
You can't. For the Saints, for
I wish.
You wish, but you can't. Okay, we'll come back to Danielle Hunter. Right. You'd rather go Danielle Hunter than, because think about it like this: you got two interior really good rushers, Cam and Granderson. You could draft Isaiah Fox has been working with my man BT Jordan.
Okay, BT.
You feel what I'm saying? So I think that if you get
the price for Watkins compared to Hunter might be $7 million difference. Obviously, Hunter a little longer in the tooth. Watkins is a young upcoming defensive lineman that done balled out for the past couple of years. Remember, I'm always talking about market value. I'm always talking about a deal. I think Hunter is the better deal for us.
He's 4 on this list. Baker Mayfield at quarterback 5. Robert Hunt guard. How you feel about did I just hear somebody in this crowd say Patrick Peterson? That's my dog. Oh, Patrick Queen. That's a very expensive ticket.
I hope you got 5 on it.
I got 5 on it.
That boy not signing for nothing less than double figure.
Would you look at Robert Hunt coming in as an offensive lineman for the Saints?
No, I need tackles. I think I'm good at guard. I'm good at because I plan on re-signing Pete regardless.
Oh man, okay, I hear you.
He's the best swing. He's probably the best swing offensive lineman in this year's free agency. And he knows and he's familiar with everything.
You got Chase Young, defensive end.
I signed him last year for a shrimp sandwich last year.
I'm talking about Chase Young.
Oh no! Please, I don't want Chase Young. Whenever there's a conversation about someone's effort,
I'm just naming guys.
Yeah, I don't want Chase Young.
Leonard Williams, D tackle from the Jets. Mm-mm. Bryce Huff, defensive end.
Nope.
Kendall Fuller, cornerback.
Nope.
Washington, you ain't like him?
I think they're all talented guys, but what we have in mind, remember, we're changing our whole offensive philosophy. We need zone blockers.
Okay.
We need zone runners. We need wide receivers that's going to possess the football and get yak after the catch. You know, we need to start structuring, and that's the thing, New Orleans. I've been wanting to say this to New Orleans. Baby, stop trying to recreate Sean Payton and Drew Brees. It's over. We have to work with what we have. If we have a zone blocking scheme, we need zone blockers.
That's right.
We have to structure our team with the players that we have.
And we'll take a look at that in the weeks to come, because I do believe that as these guys start falling off this list, you're gonna start seeing. Don't be surprised if one of them offensive lineman guards I mentioned flew in New Orleans for a workout. We're gonna stick around with the NFL for the next one, but this time we're gonna have fun. My man over at Bench Warmers is hella funny, and NFL Memes comes up with some stuff. So they've been cracking some jokes about the NFL. We in around football. We'll be back inside the Trenches podcast. You heard?
In them trenches like big dog, played up in the league. Hustle hard, had to take care of my seeds. On my baby, working daily, just to make the team.
Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Piccolo at Godwin Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Piccolo and the folks over at Godwin Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwinrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwin Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. Watch out there now.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
This is Jazzy Girl.
We live, baby. Peter, Piper, Pickup. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. I'm your host, Marlon, Big Favorite. We're having a great show. And y'all make sure y'all stick around. We have Insane, also known as Lil Frank from one half of the band, Big Frank, Lil Frank. He's going to perform for us a little later. But also sit down and have a great interview. CL, last night I was bored. You know what I'm saying? Like, by the time I finished cleaning up and straightening up the house, everybody was asleep. So I went to working on our script a little bit. You know, you just slide on IG. And because I go to NFL Memes a lot, the algorithm popped up. So football season is over. They were on one the whole football season and bench warmer. So we're going to check out, for this segment, y'all, we're going to check out a few clips, comment on them. We're going to get it started. I don't know what you got queued up first, Mike. We're going to go bench warmers first. Y'all check this skit out. This is NFL meme. This is my man Bench Warmer talking about the quarterback purgatory that they have going on in the NFL. Check this out.
Here, I miss my dad. Okay, Tom Brady is not your dad. That should be abundantly clear by now based on the fact that you are awful. There's no way the GOAT would have a son who's this disappointing.
I don't know. LeBron's son is pretty bad.
That is true. What happened to us? The 2021 quarterback class was supposed to be great. Yeah, I don't know how we got here.
Holy Trey, I forgot you existed.
Yeah, a lot of people did. Luckily, I have a very small but passionate fan base that's convinced if I ever get a shot to play, I'll be the next Patrick Mahomes.
That is nice. I'm pretty sure everyone hates me.
They do.
Steelers country, let's weld. Raiders country, let's gamble? No.
What are you doing?
Well, my days as a Bronco are coming to an end, so I'm trying to workshop some different catchphrases for wherever I end up.
You know you could just not have a catchphrase, right?
Falcons country. Let's fly. Yep, that's the one.
Stay away from Atlanta.
Why, Justin? Is there something you want to tell us?
No, I know that Desmond Ritter over there would be very offended about the assumption that he'll be replaced.
Not even a little. I know what I am.
Oh, come on, dude.
So you're going to Atlanta?
Probably.
Not if I have anything to say about it. It's still hot Kirk summer. He needs to get signed so this can stop.
See this?
My wife told me to use my hips more.
Yeah, I don't think she was talking about dancing.
Guys, where are we?
We're in quarterback purgatory.
That was funny right there, man.
So we stay here until things get figured out.
I don't want to be here. I miss my dad.
Okay, Tom Brady is not your dad. That should be abundantly clear.
Wow.
So that was the first one by Bench Warmer. Wow. Look what I like about them, CL. They're funny and he be on point, huh?
Yeah, they're pretty accurate. Pretty accurate.
I like the piece when he was when Justin Fields like, hey, stay away from Atlanta. Are you trying to tell us something, Justin? What I like about him more than anything else, you could tell he's paying attention to NFL news.
Oh yeah, he does his research for sure. And and I'm no comedian myself, but if you want to hear a joke, Desmond Ritter.
See, I like taking shots at Atlanta.
Man, Atlanta sucks so much. No, Atlanta sucks so much. When they tried to sell that Desmond Ritter stuff to them people, I told each Atlanta fan that called me, because of course, we go back and forth. I told each Atlanta fan, y'all so stupid. Y'all don't even realize y'all tanking and y'all don't even know it.
Now, this next one that Bench Warmer did was extremely funny. It's a comparison between the 2023 draft picks and the 2023 draft prospects. Super funny. Y'all take a look at this one.
You know, that whole rookie year thing really wasn't that hard. I honestly hope year 2 is more of a challenge. I hope you choke on a pen cap. What's up, dorks? Ready for us to take over? Oh, God, I forgot you guys were coming. Yep, we're here, and our rookie class is going to blow yours out of the water. I mean, look at these guys. CJ, you were good, I'll give you that, but the rest of them, we've got what? A garden gnome in a football uniform? A dude who's still known more for putting mayonnaise in his coffee than anything he's done on the field? And a dude who runs so recklessly he's bound to get himself hurt. Yeah, what a dumb way to play. Look, I might be a lot better than these guys, and I mean, like, a lot better. Like, so much so that the Panthers are going to regret that pick for the rest of their lives. Dude, but these are still my boys, and you're not just going to disrespect all of us and act like this is easy. You're only on your high horse because you haven't played a down of NFL football yet. So what? You think we're all just going to bust? Ayo. Didn't say that. I'm just saying don't bash these guys just because they've been put to the test and you haven't. But yes, there is a chance that you all suck. How can you say that? This is the most hyped quarterback class since what? 2021? Yeah, and what did we have in that class? A so-called generational prospect who was the inevitable #1 pick for years but hasn't lived up to the hype. An athletic, strong-armed white boy who played questionable competition all throughout college. A Heisman finalist who's a talented runner but whose passing numbers were propped up by great receivers. And a guy with unspectacular traits who just happened to be the quarterback for a national championship team, making him look a lot better than he is. Oh my God. Yeah, so take it down a notch. Drafting a quarterback is a crapshoot. Just ask Bryce. He was supposed to be great, man. Are we friends or not? Yes, my bad. But if you have another year like that, I can't keep defending. I'm trying, okay? Try harder. You know, that whole rookie year...
Now, that was funny. I know some of y'all are checking out the audio version of this. Please go to our YouTube, New Orleans Talk Network, or you could go to Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite. This will be up. You have to watch these links. That was funny.
Pretty accurate.
And you saw how they try. First and foremost, they're not going to play on Jaden Daniels like that. He's not about to turn into what they're trying to call Justin Fields. And I want to comment on that. I do think you made a good point about Justin Fields. It's the situation he's in. Yep. It's not that trust me, he beat C.J. Stroud out of a starting job at Ohio. People forget about that.
Yeah,
so
he can play ball.
He can play ball, but it's definitely system. Whereas C.J. Stroud, in my opinion, couldn't have asked for a better situation in terms of a young coach with a young mind, innovative mind, certain weapons around him. some corners, young defense. I mean,
one word: expectation. The expectation on Stroud in the Houston situation. If they were 500, then people would have been happy. But they were better than that. So here comes the anointing. The expectation for Bryce Young was for him to resurrect Carolina at the quarterback position, but with nothing around him. That was a ship waiting to sink. So it's all about expectation and, of course, the situation you're put in.
I think both Carolina and Houston were thinking long term. Let's do the long game. It's just that Houston's long game became a lot shorter because of the way things materialized for C.J. Stroud. We got one more before we leave out here. Now, listen, this isn't to be ignorant funny. NFL memes on IG just has no filters, and the internet is undefeated. This week, Buffalo was active. Let's read these next couple of slides. I'm going to let y'all gear up to this first because I know most of our people are watching this on YouTube, but let me just read this along for y'all. If y'all just give us a second. I know our viewers could take a better look at this. Let me get this up. Okay, so of course, we know Buffalo made some cuts this week. They cut Tre'Davious White. Let me go through all of this because I'm sorry I didn't have this in front of me, y'all. One quick second.
All I know is they made massive cuts. Massive cuts.
Serious cuts. And I'm pulling it up right now. Okay, so I want to be able to match with the slide.
Massive cuts.
So here we go.
Massive. I'm saving almost, what, 38.7 million, maybe?
Yeah, but about that.
Yeah.
I mean, because they basically, and I'm about to pull this up for a read real quick.
They basically realizing that they're not going to beat Patrick Mahomes with these high-priced veterans, and so they might as well go young if they not going.
So the first meme reads, Damar Hamlin surviving this week is honestly more shocking than the last time. So it's just a big amount of cuts. I will scroll through another one. It's a Simpson one right here. It's 2 slides over. The Bills are trying to get under the cap for next season. It's literally Homer Simpson sitting there telling a whole bunch of kids, you're cut. You're cut.
You're gone. Steven,
out of
your
here.
hustle. That's why it was so hard to cut you. Congratulations. The rest of you made the team.
That's messed up. Now, y'all are used to seeing that famous episode of Fresh Prince, the last episode, when Will went to the house, and they're saying that's Josh Allen right now. Josh Allen showed up to training camp for next season like
empty
it is
house.
this empty house. Oh, this is funny. The Buffalo Bills next season. Count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players because of the cuts that they made. This is just insane. The Bills cleared up all of their cap space, all to sign Mitchell Trubisky.
Jeez, that was crazy.
Josh,
Shouts out to Mitchell Trubisky because, brother, obviously you have a friend in the National Football League somewhere. Not in New Orleans, but somewhere.
Yes, indeed. Let's do one more. This one's funny right here. Never forget Josh Allen running his 40, and it looks like they took a clip off of The Office on the next one. He is running like this guy out of the office. It's crazy.
Wow.
Undefeated. Y'all, undefeated. So I know an artist that's undefeated. Our next guest is super talented, could sing, could rap, was one of the pioneers of New Orleans hip-hop, being a part of Big Boy Records.
Boy.
Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be joined by Insane, my man Lil Frank from Big Frank, Lil Frank. Gonna sit here and talk a little music with us. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello, somebody.
Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon Big Fave Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon Big Fave Favorite. Watch out there now. Welcome back. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. And as promised, you know this spot here is about sports and entertainment. We've had Matt come on the show, Flag Boy, Lil Reezy was there this week. My next guest is also a legendary New Orleans artist, recording with folks like Mystical, Six Shot, the Ghetto Twins, West Bank legendary artist Tim Smooth, and even Moolah Music and yours truly. One half of the group Big Frank, Lil Frank, the sensational act across the city. We want to give a big Inside the Trenches welcome to my homie, my main man, Insane, also known as Lil Frank. What's down, baby?
What's up with it, man? Glad to be
right,
here.
brother. Welcome on the show. And I'm not just saying this just because he's next to me. Probably one of the more talented guys I've ever been around. My brother could perform, sing. He's a comedian on a slick. I ain't gonna start no ribbon sessions or none of that. But I want to talk about the music, Insane. You've been doing this for a very long time, since you was a kid. Yep. When did you know that, man, this is my God-given talent?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was about 5 years old. Man, my grandmother and them used to put me on the kitchen table. And I used to sing Michael Jackson and stuff like that for my grandparents. So
that's tight.
I knew them when they would come get me and have me singing in front of everybody. And like, yeah, that boy gonna be something.
That boy gonna be somebody.
Boy, good.
Yeah. That boy good. And then the opportunity presented itself, and he shared this story with me. You're related to J-Dog, not a legendary rapper. He's the father of Jay Jones of Young Money Entertainment. Growing up in Holly Grove, you work with legendary producer and label mate Precise. Talk to us about that big-time opportunity when you had a chance to go into the studio, and before you know it, you were working on your own album.
Yep. 93, 94. Just sitting on the porch every day, man, chilling with J-Dog and Threat. And Big Boy came through one day, big Tahoe, you know, big old blue truck. Came picking them boys up, but I felt crazy, Fab, because they were leaving me on the porch every morning.
Oh man!
It took about 3 days. They left me on the porch about 3 days. So after that third day, the next morning they came. I was on the porch singing, "They know about the yayo when they knocking at my door." Yeah. So Big Boy heard that. He was like, "Man, I ain't know that boy could sing like that." And saying, "Let's go." So yeah, that was my first time really like coming off the porch with the music.
Yeah, you're right. Well, brother, you know, obviously I'm a New Orleans historian, so I'm very familiar with you. Big Boy Records, your album covers. Even every time I see you, I think of the album cover. Right. You understand what I'm saying? But I have a question. I'm just so curious. What was it like to work with DJ Jimmy?
Oh, man. Jimmy had it popping early in the game. I was kind of younger. You know, I was like 16, 17 when I was working with Jimmy. But, man, Jimmy, his work ethic was bananas. Dude had us in the studio at 4 in the morning, bro.
Wow.
But I ain't gonna even lie. DJ Precise, Sice is my brother. He came and got me and brought me in on that project. And he was like, man, if we gonna do something, we gotta definitely do something with Insane. And Insane could sing. So I wound up doing a hook called "Something's Missing." It was a song, an older song, and I just re-sung the hook. "Something's Missing," and it made the record. Man, I was happy, and that's the way I hooked up with DJ Jimmy, and we did a lot of shows after that together.
If you're just tuning in to Inside the Trenches podcast, you're joined by my man Insane. Make sure y'all follow him on Twitter or on Instagram at 17Insane. Legendary Big Boy Records. So I know a lot of our listening audience is young, so let me put this in the perspective for y'all. Big Boy Records started artists like Fiend, Mystical, Ghetto Twins have legendary records like Responsibility. Just a great label, really set the tone for New Orleans rap, New Orleans hip hop. Before No Limit, before Cash Money, they were Big Boy.
Yeah, it was the Boot Camp Clique.
The Boot Camp Clique. So talk about some of the members of Big Boy, some of the names we may or may not be familiar with.
Well, the record label consisted of, starting from the top down was Chuck, Big Boy, Charles Temple. We had Rob Shaw was the manager, Sice being a producer. Me, myself, Black Menace, which is J-Dog and Threat, Fiend, the Ghetto Twins, which we had got the Ghetto Twins from Frisco.
I didn't know that.
Ghetto Twins was in San Francisco. They were signed to Eazy-E record label.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Ghetto Twins were signed to Eazy-E. And I don't really remember exactly how we got them down here, but once they came down here and they rapped for Big Boy, it was a perfect fit because we didn't have no female rappers on the label at that time. So yeah, man, the Ghetto Twins. We had a guy named Rated X, man, G Slim, Lil Lip, G Quick. My partner G Quick was rapping with Mystical. They did the song Hood Critic. That was a little hit that they had together, you know. Lil Lip was G Slim partner. You know, he brought Lip in. So we had a pretty solid crew, man, and every one of us could rap. That was the good thing about it. And, you know, nowadays, you know, they could just jump on the internet and, you know, make a couple of jokes and make a couple of records and they own. But when we came up, man, you really had to spit. Like, you really had to write your rhymes. Or even if you didn't write them, they had to be, you know, top notch.
Right. If
you running up on a Big Boy Records Boot Camp Clique rappers, like, you know what I'm saying?
Speaking of talent and speaking of guys that definitely had to spit on to be on Big Boy, and just to let everybody know, Big Boy was before his time. Because he is telling so much of the truth when he tell you each and every one of them could spit. Now, me, once again, being a New Orleans historian, I love Canal Street. I love Rubenstein. Obviously, we realized there's a song called Meet Me at Rube.
That's right.
What was it like to work with the great Tim Smooth?
Man, Tim Smooth, that was my brother. R.I.P. to Tim Smooth. I was with Tim, man, all the way until he checked out, bro. Wow. Like, I gave him his last haircut. Like, yeah, that's a true brother. Like, but the song you bringing up, the Meet Me at Rube song, man, I hadn't met Tim Smooth when he had this song, right? Yeah. So, and he had a couple of other hit songs that I hadn't. I didn't know him. I didn't meet Tim Smooth until I signed to Big Boy Records, and then Big Boy brought Tim in. Now, I've heard of Tim Smooth, but I hadn't met him until we got together at Big Boy Records. But when I tell you, Tim Smooth is the most talented rapper, bro, ever. Like, he's definitely a legend, a GOAT in the game. I learned so much from him as far as just putting a pen to paper, man. Just the writing and making your own music, man. Tim was the guy who helped Mystical write a lot of his hits. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, Tim Smooth, shout out. Yeah, big love, West Bank.
Man, that's huge. And you think of songs like Meet Me at Rubenstein, I Gots to Have It. Ooh. I mean, just coming up as a youngster on the West Bank.
I don't give a bunch of girlfriend, all that. Yeah, that boy had classics.
And then brought like a whole nother type flow to y'all's label.
Yeah.
And you talk about him working with Mystical. Mr. Cow!
Yes.
From the swamp to Canal Street. I'm loving it.
You know what I'm talking about? And here's another thing, too, Insane. I want you to let our listeners know the beginning for these guys, like Fiend, Mystical, the vivid memories working with these guys in the studio and then watching their careers continue to climb up. I mean, how did that make you feel?
Well, me and Fiend was really kids. To be honest with you, me and Fiend was running around, clowning. Man, we made music together, did shows together, everything. Mystical kind of took in like to me and Fiend. By us being the younger cats on the label, we had a lot of energy. You know, we was always doing a lot of different things. So, yeah, we wound up doing a lot of stuff with Mystical and the Ghetto Twins. Just everybody just always was together around the studio. If somebody had a session, you always had somebody there to help you write your rap, or even if you didn't need no help, they'll be there to make a hook for you or something. You know, we always together in the studio at all times. And that's kind of what I miss about it the most, you know, the brotherhood of it all, you know.
That's big time. I want to fast forward a little bit. You dropped your album. You guys are going on tours, really building a buzz, and I'm gonna just kind of put a time table on this thing for folks. I'm talking 1995, 96.
Oh yeah,
97.
hold on. All right. That's far enough back. That's far enough back.
But I want to fast forward a bit to 2006, 2007, around the time, right around post Katrina time. I can remember being at LSU. Going down to the venue, performed at the venue a couple times in high school, went to tons of parties there. I know at that point you got with ADP record label. I guess take us through that process, working with, being around for Juveniles, Cocky and Confident album, working with PNC, all of that work that you guys did. What was that like on ADP?
Man, it was love. The correct record label was AQP.
AQP, sorry about that.
Another quick production, man. It was owned by Tyson and Dr. Joe. It was two guys that did a lot of business venues together. They owned the venue nightclub. And Tyson, one of the owners, he took a liking to us, you know, with the rap. And he kind of was a fan of Big Boy before he met us. So when he did get a chance to meet us, he definitely wanted to start a record label with us. Thanks to J-Dog, he went to a couple of meetings and got some things done, and they wound up signing us to a record label.
That's big time.
AQP Records. And
AQP.
the venue was kind of like our base. It was kind of like home base. And to have a nightclub in a studio in the same building, and that's where we hanging at, man, it was wonderful. It was great.
Man, we had Mac on a few weeks ago. He spoke highly about when
That's
you
my
guys
brother.
grew up. I went to middle school together. To see his career take off with No Limit, and for you guys to still still doing music, how's it feel for your homeboy to be back home
Man,
doing
I'm so
great?
proud, man. I'm glad to see Mac home. I'm glad to see everybody embracing him like they should. You know, he getting love everywhere he go. I just heard a song that he sent to BG. Man, Mac. Hey, brother, you still got it, boy. You know how them old people tell you, boy, you still got it.
Still got it.
Yeah, Mac, I love it, bro. It's nice, man. And hopefully we going to get together and do something real soon, too.
That's big time. All right, man. Big Frank, Lil Frank, y'all are touring. You can catch them at Fort Collins. Y'all are doing the festivals around the city. Having an opportunity years later to work with your pops. This usually happens different. You usually start off with your dad and then get picked up by labels, or start off in a group, should I say, and pick up with, man, but you and your dad have really good, great chemistry when y'all perform. How's it working with pops?
Man, it's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing, you know, to be able to work with my dad and sing with him, even though I am not near as good a singer as my dad. Let's not get that confused at all. Like, he taught me everything I know about singing. And, man, Big Frank, Lil Frank, we started about 15 years ago. I seen my dad singing with a band. I wasn't up on the band singing in front of a live band at the time. But I seen him singing in front of a band, man, and I joined in on him one song, and we was on St. Charles. If you know, on St. Charles, right in Louisiana, they had this little club with the little balcony on the top.
Oh,
is that Cricket
Avenue Pub?
At the Avenue Bar,
Pub.
something like that.
CL
Something like that. Yeah. That's where Big Frank, Lil Frank first performed their first gig together.
Wow.
Was right on that rooftop right there.
That's tight.
And that was about 15 years ago. And man, when I tell you, we done been everywhere. We done the Carnival cruise ship. We're going again this year. We won the Boomtown band competition. And this was in the beginning. So once we start winning competitions and all this together, my dad was like, man, that's it. I ain't singing with nobody else. So Big Frank, Lil Frank was born, and we here to stay. Yeah.
I can't never be mad at that, brother. I'm just happy that a lot of people don't know that this great guy is always around and always bigging up us. I'm so glad that we're able to give you your flowers now in the spotlight now. As far as music today, who do you think who you feeling today? Who you playing? I mean, I know you're on that new Jizzle. We had that conversation already. I know you're on that new Jizzle. But who you listening to right now in the truck right now?
To be honest with you, I listen to Juvenile, bro. Okay. Like I listen to Juvenile. That dude kind of like a blueprint for all of us. Like, I ain't gonna even lie. Like, a lot of people might not feel like that, but I've been around Juve long enough to know, you know, how his work ethic is and the way he make music, and ain't too many whack records that he make. So I listen to Juvenile, man, the Cocky and Confident record that he made in the venue when we was at the spot. He made that whole album right there, man. When I tell you, dude had people in and out. I'm talking about Mr. Magic coming in there, jumping on a record with Juve and exiting out. Like, just in and out, man. He was doing it. So I look up to Juve. I listen to Juve. I still think Juve got skills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, shouts out to Juve.
Because a lot of people be saying, like, yeah, he kind of, you know, Juvenile is a great rapper, bro.
Well, in real life, you don't stay relevant if you not relevant.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So, definitely shouts out to Juve. Definitely shouts out to Mr. Magic, Nightwall, R.I.P.
Yep.
Who have you not worked with that you would like to work with, brother?
Man, it's a couple of them.
Come on.
It's a few of them. Mac, for one. That's one guy.
I got to put some on wax,
for real. Yeah, because I feel like this, brother. If I already know you and we have a kind of solid relationship, we already calling each other brothers and we both do music, like, why haven't we hooked up and did nothing yet? Like, so to me, it'll be like people that I'm really like tight with that I ain't never did music with. Because I don't really know a lot of people, man, like weirdos out there, you know?
Right.
Like, you be done linked up with somebody, it's something totally different in the studio. Like, hey, I ain't used to that.
It's definitely different.
So, man, let me see. I'm trying to come up with some names of some people that I
can
might
see
want to jump on.
Your little cousin, you and Jay Jones hopping on
Jonesy, man. Yep, me and Jonesy definitely could jump on something. And that'll be nice. Who else, man?
Well, speaking of your homeboys, I mean, you and Moolah got 717 out. Man, see how I'm blessed and fortunate to be on about 4 of those tracks.
That's my little brother, Young Moolah. Shout out to Moolah, man. I ain't gonna lie, he was the guy that really got me off the couch again with the rap music. Because keep in mind, y'all, I'm 47 years old. You hear me? I ain't ashamed.
Look about 27,
you know
bro.
what I'm saying? I'm 47 years old. So when my brother came, was like, man, you ain't gonna rap no more. I was like, no. So he was like, yeah, come on, man, we could do it. Let's just try one. If you like it, we keep it. If not, it is what it is. Come to find out, the album was nice, man. I liked it. I'm glad I did it. And if y'all go on YouTube, it's Moolah Music featuring Insane. We got like 17. What they got? 17.
It's like 7. It's like 20 album, tracks.
20 tracks, full album of music, whole songs, man. Y'all go check it out.
It's on all Apple Music too.
All platforms. Apple Music, YouTube, everywhere.
That's big time.
That is big time. Well, I've asked you who you would like to work with, and now I guess the next question would be, when we going? What would it take for us to get that Big Boy compilation one more again? Reunion.
That's a good. Yeah.
Come on, baby,
like
talk to me.
Big Boy Records reunion.
Yeah.
The Twins, Fiend. We know Mystical Man ain't gonna be there, but
now, I know y'all had a reunion a few years back, but I mean, I know like with everybody coming back to the fold.
Yeah,
just about everybody.
I mean, I would love it. I mean, it'll be straight, but I could tell you a couple of people who will have to put it together for it to happen, and Sice is definitely one of them. Precise, Rob Shaw. It's basically the people that put it on the first time. We would just have to do it again. We did it at the Howlin' Wolf Yeah, we had the big boy reunion at the Howlin' Wolf. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't patting myself on the back or nothing, but I really did a good damn show over there.
Okay.
That show was off the chain, man. So, yeah, man. Y'all here, man. Let's do it. Big Boy Records reunion. Boot Camp Click reunion. Let's do it again, man.
And before we let you go, you and your pops have a couple of dates coming up. I think, it's April 22nd?
We're doing French Quarter Festival.
Okay.
April 14th. They letting us close it out. We go from 5 to 7. We doing Carnival Cruise Ship this year. If anybody wants to come on a cruise and check out Big Frank, Lil Frank, I'll have the information. I'll leave it here. With Inside the Trenches, y'all will be able to get the information to come on the boat cruise and check us out. It's not expensive at all. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I swear it's probably no more than $600 to come on the boat and get you a cabin and check out all the shows. We perform 3 nights. Out the 4 nights we're on the boat. And it's a real good time, man. It's a real good time. Y'all should come check it out.
Well, Insane's...
Sound like he got a balcony room.
Yeah, sound like a balcony room.
Oh, you know it.
Well, look, y'all, Insane gonna hang around with us. We're gonna leave football for a hot second. We gotta talk about them Pels, baby. Enjoy the hoop dreams. We're gonna talk Pels with Insane and CL on our way back. And don't go anywhere. Insane gonna probably get on that microphone for us and rap a little bit, man. Thank you for coming on. Insane, at Insane17, you can get those tickets. He'll put all the information in his Instagram. We're going to have it. The ticket for the October cruise and French Quarter Fest.
That's
I'm
free.
telling you.
Come out there and wild out. The French Quarter Fest is free. Y'all can just walk out there and check us out. Yep, Tropical Island Stage, 5 o'clock.
Copy that.
You heard it. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. We'll be back.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Don't take my love away. Crazy.
Welcome back to Inside the Trenches podcast. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite. I'm here with my man, CL Nola. And the Pels got a big-time game. They're on the road. They play against the 76ers tonight. I want to say that game is 6 p.m.?
Yeah, that's a 6 p.m. for us. Man.
6 p.m. So what do you think about the Pels in this one?
Well, it should be a easier game than you would think. There's no Joel Embiid. The young man Maxey that's still playing, he's doing his thing. But once again, New Orleans Pelicans, deepest team in the association. So we should be good.
Well, y'all make sure y'all support this Pels. Check your local listings. Again, that time is 6 p.m. And they take on them 76ers. Well, it's Football Friday. And it's Friday. Let's finish the show with a little entertainment. We got our special guest, Lil Frank from Big Frank and Lil Frank Band, also known as Insane. He gonna rock the stage with us. This is a little bit of that ballroom hip hop. Let's get it.
Yeah. Insane. Woke one morning, tears in my eyes.
All right.
'Cause you had left me without a kiss or a note or goodbye. Now I got to learn to live alone, 'cause my heart can't take it. I guess that's why I wait by the phone for a call. A call from you that says you need me back just as much as I remember. Come on. When it was us.
All right.
Remember the day we fell in love.
What else?
I still dream. Come on. The day we kissed. There'll be a day I'll truly miss. 'cause now you're gone. Girl, don't you miss me just a little bit? Baby, please, I don't know if I can live like this. Things ain't been right ever since we split. Baby, do I have to break down and beg? Ooh, we just to get you to come back my way. I just need you to say it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. Insane. Y'all make sure y'all check him out. April 14th. French Quarter Fest in October, baby. Make sure y'all get them tickets. Get on that cruise, baby. Inside the Trenches Podcast. We'd like to thank y'all for joining us. We want to thank all of our sponsors for what they do for the show. Small Sliders in the building. We want to thank Conquer Sports Pros, Crown Car Wash for all that they do for the show. We're going to keep this thing going. Godwin Realty. Shouts out to CL. Shouts out to our special guest Insane joining us on the show. We want to thank all of y'all for viewing. Make sure y'all check this show out each and every day, Monday through Friday, weekday, should I say, 6 to 8 p.m. It's Inside the Trenches Podcast, baby. Shouts out to my man Tarek over there behind the ones and twos, getting this thing going. My man Mike on the graphics, getting the show looking nice, baby. We'll be back. We'll see y'all on Monday. Y'all make sure y'all at the Uptown Sports Social. That's right, Magazine Street. If y'all remember anything we talked about, remember this. God is love, baby. We out. Peace.
That boy good.